I used to work in a freight forwarding as a network coordinator. I left the company, I got, I don't know, $5,000. We stayed like the first 10 years of the TWIG, trying to understand what we were doing, creating our own identity to really become a real business. We as a medium-sized network, we created more this community aspect. I never tried to compare TWIG with other networks. That's, I think, is the most important thing. My members proud to use our logo in their signature, and 200 employees wearing our t-shirt like proud to be Twigger. I want to make them feel proud about the community we created, make them happy and satisfied. My success metric is not who join us, who stay with us.
Where are we right now and what are we doing here?
We are in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. We are the TWIG Talk 2026. Very happy to receive all of my friends, members. It's our largest conference so far. It's the largest conference for freight forwarders in Latin America.
So take me back to when TWIG started 11 years ago. What was the thought process? Because I was looking at your past experiences before TWIG, and you started in logistics, CSAV, which was that shipping line that doesn't exist anymore. So you were like in freight forwarding for a while. But what was the thing that told you, you know what, this might work, like networking?
Thought that the organization itself was too old, I would say, and then was like the spark, that I came my house, and then I talked with Marina, that's my partner, and then we thought about TWIG, and here we are.
And do you have a lot of money when you started TWIG?
Nothing, actually. I used to work in a freight forwarding as a network coordinator. I left the company, I got, I don't know, $5,000, but I gave my mom like half of that, and then the other half I started putting in, trying to do a website. Was not enough, so I went to the bank, and then I got more, $5,000. It became like 10,000 after the taxes. So that's it. Was like no money at all. Was 25, Marina was 21. We were very young at the time, and that's very important to say. Like, the networking business is take too long to worth and make it worth. We stay like the first 10 years of the TWIG, trying to understand what we were doing, creating our own identity to really become a real business. In the last 4 or 5 years was more like a really project before, and that's what's very interesting thing about networking. It takes a lot to make it work.
Was it in a specific time, because we're in year 11, but was it in a specific time on year 1 that you thought that this might not work?
I love that so much, since the day one, so I never thought about it not working. I was always full dedicated on this. So me and Marina, we knew that people were not leaving us. So I remember someone told me, do not grow, you have your own style. And we love that. But this was 11 years ago, and this person is here, and he told me at the beach party yesterday, like, you made it, we are growing as a network, but you're not losing your soul in your style. So I always believe that it would make work, because we have always the same clients. We don't lose clients. When a company joins, we basically don't lose members. So the members number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're all here in our conference 14 years after.
All right. So yesterday I asked, when I had the talk, the people, when was the first TWIG Talk hosted at and why? You mentioned was Brazil. Yeah. And I'm guessing because the company was founded there, so it made sense that year 1, you didn't know that the whole travel situation and bringing a team and doing everything outside of your country was going to work. But how was that year 1 event? How many people went? How was it from your perspective, like looking back 11 years after? How was it?
Well, at that time I was 26, Marina was 22. We made in Brazil because we were there. I was looking at the options, and then I said, we don't have money, we need to do a conference, let's do like nearby. So we did in Balneário Camboriú, that's like Itajaí, near Itajaí. You guys know Itajaí better in logistics aspect. I went the hotel, say, if you come 19 attendees, we pay the investment. It came 36, and we didn't make any money. Actually, we had a loss because we didn't know how to do events. So, people break glasses. We need to hire things in the last minute. So, but it was one of my favorite conferences so far. We started to create a TWIG community over there. Again, people are here. Most of them are attending our conference this year. So very good feeling of creating something new and that people trust in us. People came from South Africa, from Australia to Brazil. So imagine how crazy was that.
Yeah, and like especially right now, like actually at the first part of the event, they were made a joke about the JC Trans salesperson. Right now, we see a lot of like new networks like trying to make people join their network, and you see just so many of them. What is the thing that you would say separates Twig from the noise, from the rest? And I have a lot of things to say about that, but from your experience, from your perspective as an owner, your essence, you were mentioning that before. What is that thing that you were in trade for more money that would make Twig? You mentioned something interesting a couple of days ago, not the biggest one, but the best one. What is that thing that you would say separates you from the rest?
So about JC Trans, WCA, very good companies. They have a different model, I would say, because they are the largest ones. They are, I do respect a lot, especially the legacy that David from WCA has created. We as a medium-sized network, we created more this community aspect. I never try to compare Twig with other networks. That's, I think, is the most important thing. So we created our own style. I know, and you saw it, so many different details that you're never gonna see in other conference, but maybe they do from now on, and that's okay. And I see other networks, few of them, very few, with their own style, and I respect that. So basically, what I see in Twig different is we follow our own path based in what we listen from our members, from our community, the team, and that's the point. We have the best team in our office, and they work so well. So we don't try to replicate it. We don't try to be someone else. We just be trying to be us, and I think this is the most different thing. I respect all the competitors. Not saying the competitor, each one has its own community, and I love my community of members, and that's I think the most special thing about it.
Now, for freight forwarders that invest in networking or invest in coming to events like this, what is one thing that you think they should do to make the money back that some of them don't? I see some people or some members join, but they're not active, they're not attending to the events. What are the things that if someone joins Twig, you want to make sure they do for them to be successful?
This is another very important point in Twig. I feel co-responsible for make business. And then you may be asking me how you do that, because you are creating only the event. Actually, we need to create the environment. So then they feel comfortable to make better connections, and that's in the end is business. I need to have a very strong digital platform based on data to understand that we as a matchmaking company, how we match the forwarders on the best way possible based on data and a system base. So then they do what they do best, that is connecting and talking. But I must be the one providing digital intelligence to make the connections happen on the best way possible. So I don't think there's, of course, the tradition, the basic stuff. Come to the conference, respect people, don't do no shows. We don't respect no shows, and for example, we can only accept 3 no shows per event, and actually people do less than that. So of course, be professional, be on time, and etc. But again, I think it's also our responsibility as a network, help them to make business, because then they stay with us.
Yeah, a couple of days ago, you released 3 new products. Can you tell us a little bit more about those 3 products?
First one is the TWIG Journey. So it's an evolution program where I was happy that forwarders were competing between each other, who is the best one. I don't believe best agent in Latin America. Maybe someone works for you, maybe some other works for another. So I don't like those standard awards. So we creating a strong, deep evolution program inside our platform. So it comes like an engagement, it gives you points, and the points make you a new status that release you new benefits. So it's not you against anyone else, it's you against you, and you can see that evolution inside our platform. This is a very nice program that's going to be the core for the rest of the Twig. The second one is the Twig Pay. So a digital payment between freight forwarders that goes way more than basic payment to one to another. It comes with a self-insurance system that they can see the distractions of the payments between them, and we as the third part, we can lock payments for the first time. Companies work between each other based on what Amazon, Mercado Libre offers. And the third one is the matchmaking 2.0, that we go way further of forwarders search by countries. We make predictions of good partnership based on data.
That's great. So, I mean, from my perspective, outside looking in, I would say those are the things that would definitely separate you even further ahead from the other networks. Like you mentioned, they're still doing the traditional networking way, like 10 years ago that when you started, like the same meetings and then dinner and then nothing else. But it's good that you're doing that. I mean, from the members' perspective, we're so excited of all the new things that you launch because all of them are towards technology and industry as a whole. Freight forwarding, if you're not investing in technology, you're pretty much dead in the next 5 to 10 years. It's very important. Thank you. So what is the story about a member whose business changed because of TWIG? Would you say, you don't have to say names, but a member that joined maybe thinking or maybe hoping that they would grow their business and they actually did it just because they stayed long enough and they remained active and they actually came to events like this?
That's cherry on top of our events. I just listened that someone closed 3 shipments today. So
Nice.
and then I received a letter from the guys from Brazil, right-hand letter. It made our team very emotional because they were talking about the pre-existing of them before TWIG and after TWIG, how it changed their lives in terms of not only in friendships, partnership, but it's in business. So as much more business a member of us makes, is better for me in terms of make them happy and satisfied. My success metric is not who join us, who stay with us. And we don't lose members, as I was saying, like people, when they join us, they love the community. They see the efforts we're doing, all the products coming in the conference. And in the end of the day, they make more money and business. So then everyone is happy, the whole community and of course the members.
Now, what is the hardest decision you have to make? Maybe this year, maybe 5 years ago, maybe when we started, maybe 2 years after you started, but one decision that you always remember as one of the hardest ones that you have to take in order for TWIG to keep going?
Was not difficult, but it was a strategic one. And when we decided to make way harder to join TWIG. So now it's not easy. We have a strong selection process. We are not the cheapest one in the market. We are saying no to a lot of companies that want to join us. They get very upset with us sometimes. And I do understand, but growing on a very organic and nice way, but very strategic to keep the quality of the network, putting us in a position of a premium network, I would say. It's a hard decision in terms of business aspect because business, they want to grow and grow and grow, and I do understand that, but I think there's different ways of growing. Retention, satisfaction, and quality, and that's the 3 pillars that TWIG is based.
Thank you. And now, you were at a freight forwarder at some point in your career. You were actually a network developer. What is the one thing that you see that freight forwarders are not doing today that they should in order for them to grow? Because as time passes, it's becoming harder and harder to grow because everybody's offering the same thing. And one thing that you just mentioned is about price. Do you think it's been the cheapest, it's necessarily been the better? Or how do you see the industry having to evolve for them to survive right now?
I think the most important thing, not only for forwarders, for all companies, understand yourself and respect what you want to be, and you need to say no sometimes, a lot of times, to be honest. So you want to be the cheapest, you want to be, and then grow with a lot of people in your team, and then you can be based like a volume driving company. Or if you want to be a quality, and then you need to charge better to offer quality. If you want to be tech, of course, you need to hire less people using technology, but then you need to charge more. So what I would say is trying to understand what you really want. I know what TWIG wants. We want to be the best logistics network in the market, and that's drive me in everything. So we need to offer amazing conferences. We need to have the best customer success in the market. We need to invest a lot in technology in the platform. I know that, but there's networks, they're very cheap and accept a lot of orders, and it's not bad. It's just their style, and that's okay. So define what you want, understand yourself, your style, and respect that. So that's what we do here too.
And what does TWIG look like in the next 10 years if everything goes right?
We're going to continue be the leader in terms of technology, innovation. They're going to continue, and we're going to see that in 10 years. We want to keep being, we are the first one, the largest network in Latin America. I don't see that change in terms of quality, and be the top one network when people say about quality. I know we're already there, but I want to continue that. So that's what I want to see in the TWIG. But of course, bringing a lot of easy tools in technology to do the matchmaking, connect way better the agents. But of course, when the face-to-face comes, because I still believe on that, um, they do what they do best. Forgers do what they do best, that is personal relationship. But then I take all the technology up to that moment to say best match possible, guys, now talk, and they do that.
That's great. And is it something that if a TWIG member does, you have to, like, even if you don't want to, you have to just cancel the membership? Is there something that if it happens here, you have to take that decision, or not really?
No, it's a lot of things. First thing, our events, we have a zero restrict policy. So we are team based. Our team is 9% are girls working there. Last year we reached almost 50% of the attendees in the conference were girls. So that's zero restrictions in terms of respect. I don't care which company it is. We just cancel their membership. Payment delays. I'm not even talking about payment problems, payment delays. If we see delays, we take companies out of the network. Also, some kind of respect with other agents in terms of operational stuff. We have a partner rating system. We are the only one with that in the market. It means we see other ratings between companies, and if a company has less than 3 stars in some point with the ratings, we just cancel the membership. You need to be above the 3 stars. So yeah, there's a lot of things, and we cancel a lot of memberships often because as we don't want to be the biggest, but the best ones, we need to keep the quality every time, and that's what we do. But we don't feel bad about that. We are just protecting our community.
All right, next one. One piece of advice that you would give a freight forwarders if they want to start today in 2026.
Wow. What I would say, basically, kind of the same answer I gave before. Start small, focus on something. Like you want to start focus on air from China, do that. Create something that you're very good. Understand that. If you're good on ocean from export Brazil to US, get very good on that. Define your ideal customer profile, the clients that make sense based on that. When you have that, look for clients on that base. Until the moment you are very good at something, you have a very strong team, you already know that, and then you do it again, another service, another model of import and export to another lane. Trying to get everything at the same moment when you started, I don't think it's a good decision. Could be a good decision 10 years ago with not that much competitors, but now so many competitors trying to be very good at something, because then you're going to have the authority to make your, cold emails, to make calls to your clients, to visit the ones that you very focused on, that they realize that you have that and you're not trying to be good as much more. I think you can, and then they realize that and they trust you more. So then you grow that first, and then you develop new products with the time.
That what you just mentioned is something that I repeatedly say in my content. You have to specialize in something in order for you to be, not competing with maybe 100,000 people, but maybe just with maybe 1,000 or 10,000. It's a big difference. But what do you think freight forwarders still are trying to sell to everyone and anyone? Like, it's because they're like the fear of reinventing themselves, or just the traditional way that everything has been done for like the longest time? What do you think they just trying to keep doing the same thing that doesn't work anymore?
There's two different things. You can do all the shipments. You can answer the codes. Of course, you're not going to say no for one shipment or another, but I think the first question is they're doing because they do as they were always doing. It's different. It's difficult to find a forwarder and say, I want to do different on this and that way. So I think it's a bad legacy that we have in the market. Second, that is a good desire of grow fast and be able to offer everything. But what they don't know is that costs time. We don't have that much time. So if you have 2 hours to do proactive sales actions and you're trying to talk with everybody with generic emails and generic approach, you decrease your number of success rates. And that's the thing. Success rate, you need to be answered. You need to be considering the rate flow. That's the final answer. So you have a funnel of people you're going to talk. and you want to, in the end of this funnel, be considering in a rate quotation, you're going to have way more success rate when you are niche, because you talk their languages, you'll be more assertive, you call better attention, you write less, better copy, better first sales visit. And because you have better points in each point of your sales funnel, it increase a lot how many clients or how many forwarders you're considering in your rate quotation flow. And that's the answer. As much more you're considering, much more quotations you can win.
Before I get to the last question, what you just mentioned just remind me of something that I have mentioned you before, and that is you were doing content years ago before there were any sales tactic for freight forwarders. You were doing that from your learnings in the freight forwarder that you were working at. How do you see content in 2026? Is it important for freight forwarders to start doing content to stay visible out there for the partners to find them, or do you think it's something that is not really important? You can do it if you want to, or how do you see this?
I'm delayed from this interview, okay, because I was in the TWIG EU sessions. So the TWIG EU sessions is an innovation that we did in the networking market. So you could, in your agenda, have one-on-ones and one-on-one, but then you can go to one lesson. So I was now in one of the speakers were talking about the AI without hype. That was the subject. By the way, Jose was made in one of the sessions and was amazing, was sold out the first one. So that answers the question. I do believe in education very, very much. The old videos I was doing was more for fun. You can find on YouTube or my LinkedIn. But I see you doing that on a very professional way, and I see more forwarders now understanding how that is important, the content. So I do believe that is the key for the success of our industry, of our business, of what we are doing. And what I love as well is not just the educational, learning about the cargo danger. No, it's about LinkedIn, it's about sales, about cold calls, about cold email. It's about AI, it's about everything. So as much more content you have, you can become more, strong in front of your competitors, I'd say.
That's right. And the very last question, what do you want this legacy to be in the industry of networking in the next 10, 20 years?
I want to make my members proud to use our logo in their signatures and their t-shirts. So I went to India now, and 200 employees from an Indian company called Skyways were wearing our t-shirt, proud to be Twigger. We have a member in Germany, have our logo very huge in his office. I want to make them feel proud about the community we created and they are part of, that I want to make them feel treated well, not only as a person, but that the money they put in is being reinvested in the quality of the network. I want to make them feel special and not only a number inside the network. So that's the legacy I want to keep doing the Twig, and that's, I'm sure in 10 years, when we have a different interview from now on, I'm gonna be talking the same.
That's great. And for you guys who are watching us on social media, if you are tired of being on a traditional network that are only doing one-on-ones and maybe dinners or maybe breakfast, and you want a network that's based on community, which is what this network is, wait no more and just contact Guillermo and their team at TWIG. Obviously, they have a strong screening process, but if you do make it as a members, you're going to enjoy. And they just released the next events. Next year, they're going to be pretty active worldwide. So if you are thinking on joining a network that you think that you want the ROI to be tangible, join TWIG and you will not regret it. So thank you very much, my friend, from this moment.
Thank you.
And I'll see you next year.
See you next year. Goodbye, guys. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, send me a LinkedIn message. Okay? Bye-bye.